Warning: the following video contains strong language that may be offensive to some viewers and/or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Did you hear about what happened? Crazy.
True crime. We online.
Come check us out.
Tune in. It's about to go down.
Know where we at.
True crime. Based on real life events. Every story has two sides.
Who's telling the truth? Who's telling them lies?
Them or me, anybody with eyes, they can see that this the truth that I am speaking. Blood leaking, what's the reason? No remorse for the family. Where's the justice? We need peace. Another plot twist this deep. Got me on the edge of my
I wonder what's gonna happen next.
Welcome, dear listeners, to another episode of Murder and Cocktails, where true crime meets mixology. I'm your host, Nicole and LaChelle, and I am here with my fabulous co-host and true crime bestie, LaChelle Walker. Hey! So we started something a little different. We wanted to implement trivia into the mix. So without further ado, what is the definition of a serial killer?
You want me to answer it?
Yeah, sure. You can go ahead.
My definition? I mean, it could be me sometimes in the morning when I'm eating Lucky Charms.
So, serial killer. Oh my goodness. Lucky Charms, though?
I can't just have one bowl. That's crazy work. It's like 2 or more. Always.
Yeah, for sure. It depends what it is.
What would you eat?
I've introduced the household to s'mores cereal.
Ah, I like those too.
Yeah.
But the marshmallows are so good in there.
Yes.
I love freeze dried. Did I say mushrooms?
Mushrooms?
I said marshmallows, didn't I?
Yeah, you said marshmallow.
All right. So, full disclosure, y'all, I've been pre-gaming because this is Murder and Cocktails, so, yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna have me a little drinky drink later. So the answer is, according to the FBI, the unlawful killing of 2 or more victims by the same offender or offenders in separate events.
Separate events.
Right.
So if it's in the same house, let's say house for example, not serial killer? Or what if like it's like 11:59 and it turns 12? Do you become a...
I'm too technical.
I'm just saying, like...
So silly.
Technically...
Yeah. I think so.
It's a separate day. It's a new event.
Too funny. So we'll be posting those on our social media, and feel free, to answer. I accidentally posted 2 on the same day, but it's okay. We'll do 2 next time. So, with that said, today we are delving into the chilling story of Rodney Alcala, infamously known as the dating game killer. Alcala's horrifying spree of murders spanning from the late 1960s to the late 1970s left a trail of fear and devastation across multiple states, forever marking him as one of America's most manipulative and sadistic serial killers. Unlike many other murderers, Alcala masked his evil with charm, intelligence, and charismatic demeanor that allowed him to lure his victims into his web. His crimes defied easy categorization as he targeted women, teenage girls, and even children, using his deviousness to gain their trust before unleashing acts of unimaginable cruelty. What set him apart was not just his brutality, but the sheer calculated nature of his attacks. He often posed as a professional photographer, using promises of fame or artistic merit to lure victims into private settings. Once alone, his true nature emerged. He would torture his victims by strangling them until they lost consciousness, reviving them, and repeating the process before finally killing them. Afterward, he often staged their bodies in grotesque poses, a haunting signature that reflected his need for control. These elements, combined with trophies he kept from his victims, underscored the chilling meticulousness with which he carried out his crimes. During his reign of terror, he even managed to appear on the popular television show The Dating Game in 1978, while actively committing murders. Introduced as a successful photographer, he charmed the audience with his wit and charisma, ultimately winning a date with the contestant. However, after meeting him in person, she declined to go out with him, later describing him as creepy. This bizarre appearance, contrasted against the gruesome murders he was committing at the time, earned him his infamous nickname and has forever linked him to one of the darkest chapters in American criminal history. Join us as we explore the psychological descent, the investigations, and the enduring legacy of Rodney Alcala, the man whose awkward charm masked a deadly and calculated predator. His story not only highlights the depths of human depravity, but also serves as a grim reminder of how easily evil can hide behind a mask of normalcy, forever changing the way communities view trust, safety, and the people around them. But, per usual, before we begin, we want to remind everyone that this episode discusses graphic content and may not be suitable for all audiences. So, grab your favorite libation and let's raise a glass to a murderously good time. But first, we have some true crime news.
A Manhattan grand jury is reviewing evidence against 26-year-old Luigi Maggioni, the suspect in the December 4th murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in Midtown Manhattan. Prosecutors are working to secure an indictment, while New York Governor Kathy Hochul pushes for Maggioni's extradition from Pennsylvania. That was so fucking southern. Where he was arrested on unrelated charges. Maggioni is being held in maximum security, with investigators linking him to the crime through a gun, fingerprints, and surveillance footage. A notebook found in his possession revealed chilling details about his methodical planning, choosing a gun over a bomb for its precision. Authorities suggest his motive may stem from frustration with the healthcare industry, potentially tied to a chronic back injury. Prosecutors plan to upgrade charges to first-degree murder, while Maggioni's defense attorney maintains his client will plead not guilty, challenging the evidence. As extradition proceedings move forward, this case remains one to watch. If you have any thoughts or comments on today's story, please reach out to us on social media or through our website. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a review. This is crazy. This is wild. So just from what I've looked at online, he's an Ivy League grad.
He went to some prestigious ass schools.
And just I haven't like read all of his stuff yet because that's a lot to dive into. And once again, as I always say, like, you can edit this out, but just taking a life, it's just never that. I mean, I wouldn't say it's never that serious. Shit. This man was a father, a husband.
Right.
And it's probably stemmed from something that he had no control over.
Right. Like, I've had my fair share of disputes with insurance companies, but I've never wanted to do anything crazy like that. But from what I understand, he had some sort of like spinal injury or something. So that's probably like why he did it, because he's probably going back and forth with insurance companies while he was trying to heal. Like, not justifying it at all, of course. Fucking nut bar.
That's why he was standing like that. Because I was looking at the way he was standing because, I love guns. I love shooting. And, I was looking at his posture, his stance. It was not the best at all. But yeah, that's just my sidebar. So yeah, his back had to be fucked up to be standing like that.
Right. Probably gonna be fucked up for the rest of his life. And then, like, I hear, like, he's from a prominent real estate family in Maryland, and his grandmother left him a very large inheritance, and I'm pretty sure he won't be getting that anymore. And then, like, his cousin is a politician. Like, it's just crazy.
There were so many other ways he could have fought this.
All because he's salty. And the crazy part is, like, bro, you went to McDonald's and got recognized, smiling. And, if it wasn't for him taking down his mask and smiling at that lady at the hostel where he was staying, we would never have a picture of him. Oh, no.
So, that's crazy, though. Like, to go commit a crime and, like, next thing on your mind is, let me go get some chicken nuggies.
Chicken nuggets hit different after you commit a crime.
What the fuck?
I'm such a butt. Sorry.
Chicken nuggies.
Chicken nuggies hit different after you commit a crime.
It's like he wanted to be caught, though. Like, it's like he looked in the camera and smiled.
He wrote a 3-page manifesto.
Yeah, I've yet to read that.
I can't wait. I mean, that sounds so bad. I just want to see why he did it.
I thought 50 Cent posted it.
Oh, 50 Cent? 50 Cent get a hold of fucking everything.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
He's doing a documentary about Diddy.
No. Not like to laugh at the whole thing, but
And he sold it to Netflix.
Really?
Yep. 50 about to get that Netflix money.
Interesting. Surprised. I thought he was starting his own, venturing out to his own, kind of like Tyler Perry.
I mean, he got GU in the studio.
Okay.
I think it's in Shreveport.
Louisiana?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just drove through there.
Right.
And got a fat ticket, too.
And Jay-Z got pulled into this. Right. I'm like, damn, Beyonce, what you gonna do, girl? You gonna stand by your man? Right. But he did make a statement, though. But initially, they didn't. He wants to know the name of the person who's accusing him.
Why does that matter?
Right. Like, damn, you done raped that many people that you need a name?
You sound awfully guilty wanting to know the name.
Right. That don't sound right. But I'm not. Diddy's trial is scheduled for May of 2025.
So during my birth month, that's all they're going to be talking about.
Yep. Might as well come on over here. Come hang out.
I'm going, I don't know, anywhere else. Paris.
Right. They'll be talking about it over there too, just in French.
You know who I'm glad is finally off trial, because every time I would call my dad or I would go over there, he'd be like, yeah, Jeffrey. I was like, Young Thug? Like, yeah, I'm watching no Jeffrey. Like, oh my
Jeffrey,
God.
like, was he like a neighbor or something? Like, we know him by first name?
My dad was very invested in his court case.
Girl, these court cases get more interesting, like, by the case. Like, seriously. Yeah. It's like, can't y'all just do right? Just for a little bit.
They didn't have to
It's
drag this out.
exhausting. Like, I'm just ready for Diddy to be over. Like, he gonna be sharing a cell with R. Kelly. They gonna do a collaboration album, and it's probably gonna be the best album ever. I'm lying, because Diddy can't rap. So, I don't know.
And I hate
They might collab. Got Diddy in the back. Can't stop. Won't stop.
So, this is my thing. Like, I know a lot of people around me that, hear the music that I listen to.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the Love album. Yes, I do have it on my phone.
No judgment.
It's just like, but on the Love album, he wasn't really on it. It was other artists. So,
Because he
But,
can't rap. He probably
Yeah.
did features. So it's like, you remember when he did that music video with Mace? And he was in the back, and then, like, he was, like, looking down, and everybody's like, what the fuck is he looking at? I'm like, oh, bro, come on. And then, of course, you heard why 50 Cent don't like Diddy.
no, why?
So they were at a wedding or whatever, and I guess they were at the same table or something. And Diddy was like, yeah, man, I really like you, man. You should let me take you shopping. And 50 Cent was like, what did you say? He's like, and Diddy didn't think nothing of it. Yeah, man, you should let me take you shopping. And 50 Cent like, bro, I got my own money. The fuck? So, like, ever since then, like, 50 Cent don't fuck with Diddy. 50 was like, something wrong with that dude. Like,
And that's what he does. He takes people shopping. Like,
Diddy could take me shopping.
he
I ain't
cannot
get no
take me
booty though,
shopping.
and I'm not touching nothing. I'm gonna have gloves on, and I'm not drinking or eating nothing either. You're not getting this booty, sir. Not for free, anyway.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
His kids are being supportive, though.
Yeah, I heard they getting paperwork too.
The
His
daughters
sons,
too?
anyway. No,
Oh,
the
okay.
sons. They're
yeah.
a little older than the girls.
They a little strange, in my opinion.
Girl, I'm so tired of hearing Stevie J, seeing him and his stupid face talking about something he ain't never been to no freak off. You a damn lie.
1,000% lie. Like, he is the face of freak off.
He's a creep.
And so is Mary J. Sorry. Gotta throw you out there, girl.
Hey.
All
For
of
real?
them. I think that we're about to find out a lot of our favorite artists are some, as Kendrick say, freaky ass 69.
You a fan.
It's about to get really weird.
I mean, it's gonna be quite entertaining, I'm sure. But TMZ been putting out a lot of documentaries about this case. Matter of fact, I'm in the middle of watching one right now. Damn, hit the mic. Shit. Okay. Diving on in. Speaking of creeps. Rodney James Alcala was born Rodrigo Jacques Alcala Poor on August 23rd, 1943 in San Antonio, Texas, is among one of the most notorious serial killers in American history. Known as the dating game killer, he murdered at least 8 women and girls and is suspected of killing over 130 victims during his crime spree in the 1960s and 1970s. His heinous acts, characterized by manipulation, sadism, and control, were masked by his outward charm, intelligence, and social skill. The nickname arose from his unsettling appearance as a contestant on the television show The Dating Game in 1978, during which he was actively committing murders. Rodney's story serves as a chilling reminder of the duality of human nature and the dangers posed by predators who can hide in plain sight. Rodney's early life was marked by turmoil and loss. In 1951, the family moved to Mexico, but their lives were disrupted when Rodney's father abandoned them 3 years later. Left to raise the children alone, his mother relocated the family to Los Angeles in 1954. Despite the instability, Rodney displayed remarkable intelligence and an engaging personality. He excelled academically at Cantwell Sacred Heart of Mary High School, where he participated in cross-country and the yearbook committee. Many saw him as a promising and well-rounded student, unaware of the darkness brewing beneath his seemingly normal demeanor. In 1961, at age 17, he joined the U.S. Army, initially intending to train as a paratrooper. However, his military career was short-lived. In 1964, he suffered a nervous breakdown and deserted his post, hitchhiking across the country to return to his mother's home in California. Diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder by military psychiatrists, he was discharged on medical grounds. This diagnosis, coupled with later assessments of narcissistic personality disorder, borderline personality disorder, and sexual sadism, foreshadowed the violent behavior that would define his life. Despite these warning signs, he pursued higher education, earning a fine arts degree from UCLA in 1968. He later studied at New York University under Roman Polanski, immersing himself in artistic circles while concealing his predatory tendencies.
I'm sorry. So, in today's time, if we were to desert our post, we wouldn't have been able to go to college.
Wouldn't be able to do nothing because he went to jail. Okay? Leavenworth. Oh, don't drop the soap. But you know what? They figured out he was crazy, so maybe he got a pass.
They were like, let's cut a lot, so it's fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Just like there. Like, yeah, he's bad shit. Don't even worry about it. He's someone else's problem now.
The world's. Okay.
Facts. His first known violent crime occurred in September 1968 when he lured 8-year-old Tali Shapiro into his car by pretending to know her parents. He brought her to his Hollywood apartment where he raped and brutally beat her with a steel bar. A passerby, Donald Haynes, witnessed the interaction and followed them to his apartment, ultimately calling the police. When officers arrived, they found Tali barely alive in a pool of blood. However, he escaped through a back door, evading capture. Tali survived the attack but required extensive medical treatment, including 27 stitches to her head. Her survival marked the beginning of a pattern of violence and manipulation that he would repeat for over a decade. Close your mouth.
Wow.
Like, he is a monster.
I don't know if that was in the documentary or the thing they put on Netflix. I don't know. That they probably did leave that out because that's a fucking lot.
Yeah, for sure.
You little sick bitch.
After fleeing California to avoid arrest, he adopted the alias John Berger and moved to New York City. There, he worked as a counselor at an arts camp for children. Despite being on the FBI's 10 most wanted fugitives list, he charmed those around him and evaded suspicion. In 1971, 2 campers recognized him from the FBI list and reported him to the camp dean, leading to his arrest. However, he was charged only with child molestation related to the Tali Shapiro case and served a mere 34 months in prison. He was released. Oh God, look at your face. He was released on parole in 1974, but his release marked the start of a far more sinister chapter in his life. Between 1971 and 1979, he embarked on a killing spree that spanned multiple states, including California, New York, and Wyoming. His victims were primarily young women and girls, many of whom he lured by posing as a professional photographer. His charm, intelligence, and good looks made him appear trustworthy to his victims, but his true nature was revealed once they were alone with him. His crimes were marked by extreme cruelty. He would strangle his victims until they lost consciousness, revive them, and repeat the process multiple times before finally killing them. After their deaths, he often posed their bodies in grotesque positions, reflecting his need for control and dominance. Investigators later discovered that he kept trophies from his victims, including jewelry, photographs, which he stored in a Seattle locker. It's time for Sip and Solve, but first, a word from our sponsor.
You are now listening to Strength in Struggle, the podcast all about finding your light in the darkness, overcoming adversity, learning to heal after hurt, and most of all, finding yourself when others try to keep you hidden.
Bringing the bottles out. What is this? Sip and Solve. We gon' figure this out right now. For sure. Let's get it.
Hey, what you got? Yeah. Hold me up, I'm almost there. Solving crimes, let's get it clear. Glasses in the air, cheers. Sip and solve, that's the call for alcohol. Sip and solve, no, don't drink it all. Hey, hold me up, hold me up, yeah. Hold me up.
Sip and solve, solve.
Sip and solve.
Sip, hold me up. Hold me up. Yeah.
Sip and solve. Sip.
Sippin'.
It's time for our favorite segment, Sip and Solve. Grab your shakers and glasses because we're about to mix up a drink that perfectly complements today's mystery's dark twists and turns. Today's featured cocktail is the Emerald Isle Margarita, courtesy of the Bartender Vault. Here's how you can concoct this intriguing libation. For your ingredients, you'll need 2 ounces of tequila, 1 ounce of Midori, 1 ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of triple sec, and half an ounce of pineapple juice. Combine all the ingredients in a shaker with ice. Shake for 10 to 15 seconds until well chilled. Strain into a margarita glass over fresh ice and enjoy.
That sounds really good.
It does.
You have all of that downstairs.
I'm jelly.
It's on. It's so on.
I'm sitting over here sipping on mom water, not sponsored. That looks good, Diane. When you make that, send me a picture.
Look, if I remember.
I'm surprised it doesn't have any of that garnishes, like some. I can't wait
You
till
could throw
we
a
go back on
cherry in
video.
there or something.
When we go back on video, they are going to be fucking cracking up.
Oh my gosh. So before we get back to the case, we're going to use my fancy schmancy degree and discuss Rodney's psychological profile. He fits the psychological profile of a highly manipulative, sadistic, and psychopathic individual. His crimes, characterized by prolonged torture, sexual violence, and post-mortem staging, reflect his deep-seated need for dominance and control. Highly intelligent and superficially charming, he used his wit and creativity to lure his victims, often posing as a professional photographer to gain their trust. His ability to blend into society, evidenced by his appearance on the television show The Dating Game during his killing spree, highlights his skill in masking his true nature and evading suspicion. He exhibited traits consistent with psychopathy, including a lack of empathy, remorse, or guilt for his actions. He viewed his victims as objects to fulfill his violent fantasies, dehumanizing them to justify his sadistic behavior. His crimes revealed a disturbing need for power and control, as he often strangled his victims to unconsciousness, revived them, and repeated the process before ultimately killing them. This method of prolonged torture suggests he derived gratification from their fear and suffering. His post-mortem posing of victims and collection of trophies such as jewelry and photographs further underscored his need to assert dominance and relive his crimes. So as you know, we previously discussed, he was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder in early life, and he demonstrated a persistent disregard for societal norms and the rights of others. His outward charm and confidence masked by his predatory instincts, allowing him to seamlessly manipulate not only his victims, but those around him, including law enforcement. Narcissistic tendencies were also evident as he craved attention and validation, because, he appeared on the show to showcase his charisma, despite being actively engaged in a killing spree. This need for admiration and control is consistent with malignant narcissism, blending elements of grandiosity with a callous disregard for others. His trophy collection, over 1,000 photographs, many of which depicted women and children in suggestive poses, reveals an obsession-compulsion to preserve and revisit his violent acts. This behavior reflects his inability to let go of the power he felt during his crimes, using these mementos as a way to maintain control even after his victims' deaths. Additionally, his geographic mobility, committing crimes across multiple states, suggests both resourcefulness and a calculated effort to evade detection. In summary, his psychological profile is that of a highly intelligent, psychopathic individual with sadistic tendencies and a profound need for control. His ability to charm and manipulate, combined with his complete lack of empathy and remorse, allowed him to commit horrific acts over more than a decade. His crimes and behavior underscore the dangerous duality of a predator who could seamlessly hide his sadistic nature behind a facade of charisma and normalcy, leaving a legacy of devastation and fear. In layman's terms, he's batshit fucking crazy. He needs to come with a fucking warning sign. Crazy, right?
Extremely. I've been... Took all the words out of my mouth. Just...
Like, I see your face and you're just like, the fuck? Like, this can't be happening. And this is like, yeah, it happened. Among his confirmed victims was Cornelia Crilly, a 23-year-old flight attendant who was raped and strangled with her stockings in her Manhattan apartment in 1971. Ellen Hover, also 23 and the daughter of a prominent nightclub owner, disappeared in 1977 after agreeing to meet John Berger. Her remains were found a year later in Westchester County, and her calendar entry linking her disappearance to him became a critical piece of evidence. Jill Barcombe, an 18-year-old recent high school graduate, was raped, strangled, and left in the Hollywood Hills in 1977. Georgia Wickstead, a 27-year-old nurse, was raped, beaten with a hammer, and strangled in Malibu in 1978. Her body staged in a disturbing fashion. Charlotte Lamb, a 32-year-old legal secretary, was strangled and left in the laundry room of an apartment complex in El Segundo in 1978. Jill Parento, a 21-year-old woman, was murdered in her Burbank apartment in 1979. Robin Samso, a 12-year-old girl, was abducted in June 1979 while riding her bike to ballet class. Her remains were found 12 days later in the Angeles National Forest. Her murder ultimately led to his arrest. In addition to his confirmed victims, he is suspected of murdering many more. In 2010, police discovered over 1,000 photographs in a storage locker rented by him in Seattle. Many of these images depicted women, teenage girls, and boys in sexually suggestive poses. Authorities believe that some of these individuals may have been victims, but several remain unidentified. These haunting photographs offer a glimpse into the extent of his predatory behavior and the number of lives he may have destroyed. One of the most infamous aspects of this case was his appearance on the television show The Dating Game in 1978. Introduced as a successful photographer, he charmed the audience with his wit and confidence, ultimately winning a date with contestant Cheryl Bradshaw. That's crazy. She saw he was a creep and was like, nah, I'm good.
Right.
His freak came to an end in July 1979 following the murder of Robin Samso. A composite sketch of the suspect was circulated and his parole officer recognized him. Police arrested him and conducted a search of his belongings, uncovering trophies from his victims and photographic evidence linking him to multiple crimes. In 1980, he was convicted of Samso's murder and sentenced to death. However, his conviction was overturned in 1984 due to procedural errors. A retrial in 1986 resulted in another death sentence, but this too was overturned in 2001. Advances in DNA technology eventually linked him to additional murders, and in 2010, he was convicted of 5 murders and pleaded guilty to 2 more in New York. Despite receiving multiple death sentences, he remained on death row in California until his death. Survivors played a critical role in ensuring that he faced justice. Talia Shapiro, who survived his brutal attack as a child, testified against him decades later, providing key evidence in his trial. Monique White, a 15-year-old girl who escaped after being raped by him in 1979, also offered vital testimony. Their courage, combined with the tireless efforts of law enforcement and advancements in forensic science, ensured that he was held accountable for at least some of his crimes, though the full scope of his violence remains unknown. He eventually died of natural causes on July 24, 2021, at the age of 77, while awaiting execution on death row. His death marked the end of his life, but left many questions unanswered, as the true number of his victims may never be known. His story has been the subject of numerous documentaries, books, and films, including Netflix's 2024 release of Woman of the Hour. These portrayals highlight the enduring horror of his crimes and the resilience of the survivors who helped bring him to justice. His case serves as a stark reminder of the dangers posed by predators who exploit their charm and intelligence to manipulate others. It underscores the importance of vigilance, systematic improvements in law enforcement, and ongoing efforts to support survivors. By remembering his victims and honoring the strength of those who survived, society can ensure that their stories endure as a testament to resilience and the pursuit of justice. His crimes, though horrifying, emphasize the critical need for collective action to prevent such tragedies in the future. As we reach the end of this chilling episode of Murder and Cocktails, we want to thank you, our fantastic listeners, for joining us on this dark and mysterious journey. Your enthusiasm for true crime and mixology makes each episode truly special. Before we wrap up, don't forget to follow us on your favorite podcast platform to stay updated on our latest concoctions of crime and cocktails. And of course, share the love by leaving a review. Your feedback keeps the spirits high and the stories flowing. Remember to visit our website, truecrimemeetsmixology.com, for the cocktail recipe of the week, the Emerald Isle Margarita, inspired by today's episode, and check out our favorite things. Until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and keep those glasses full. Cheers to the mysteries that keep us coming back for more.
Ooh, that show was good. I can't wait for the next one to come out. Binging on the podcast. Hope true crime never run out. What's gonna happen in the next episode? Nobody don't know. I'm in suspense. This get intense. No turning back now. I'm all in. True crime. We online. Tune in. It's about to go down. True crime. True crime. Based on real life events. Every story has 2 sides.